Today is January the 1st, 2011. Today's reading comes from the book The Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. And here we go. Everything starts somewhere, although many physicists disagree. But people have always been dimly aware of the problem with the start of things. They wonder aloud how the snowplow driver gets to work, or how the makers of dictionaries look up the spellings of the words. Yet there is the constant desire to find some point in the twisting, knotting, raveling nets of space-time on which a metaphorical finger can be put to indicate that here is the point where it all began. Something began when the Guild of Assassins enrolled Mr. Teatime, who saw things differently from other people, and one of the ways that he saw things differently from other people was in seeing other people as things. Later, Lord Downey of the Guild said, "We took pity on him because he'd lost both parents at an early age. I think that, on reflection, we should have wondered a bit more about that." But it was much earlier even than that when most people forgot that the very oldest stories are, sooner or later, about blood. Later on they took the blood out to make the stories more acceptable to children, or at least to the people who had to read them to children rather than the children themselves, who on the whole are quite keen on blood provided it's being shed by the deserving. That is to say, those who deserve to shed blood, or possibly not, you never quite know with some kids, and then wondered where the stories went. And earlier still, when something in the darkness of the deepest caves and gloomiest forests thought, "What are they, these creatures? I will observe them." And much, much earlier than that, when the Discworld was formed, drifting onward through space atop 4 elephants on the shell of the giant turtle, Grey Tatuan. Possibly as it moves, it gets tangled like a blind man in a cobwebbed house in those highly specialized little space-time strands that try to breed into every history they encounter, stretching them and breaking them and tugging them into new shapes. Or possibly not, of course. The philosopher Didactylus has summed up an alternative hypothesis as, "Things just happen, what the hell."